everybody. Happy holidays and a happy new year. Welcome to 2023 from us at the Points of Experience podcast. It has been an absolute pleasure of my life these past 8 months that we have been doing the show, from 2022 now to being in 2023. It feels surreal to have done as many episodes as we have had some of the most amazing, prolific guests I could have ever dreamed of, had conversations with people who are doing it, professionals working in the business in their respective fields at the highest caliber. We've had voice actors, content creators, YouTubers, people who work behind the scenes. Everybody that I've brought on the show has been somebody that I have been a fan of, I've believed in, I have been admired their work. Most of these people are friends, and some are people I've yet to work with or get to know. I've only known through social media or the things that they've done professionally. And I truly feel that we've been able to talk about a lot of the things that when I was starting out as a professional, interested in all of the things that this show is about, video games, voice acting, content creating, everything that we've just mentioned, and I'm saying again, literally. These conversations that we're having with people who are doing these things, I felt like those are the things that I had wanted to hear when I started this podcast. That was kind of the inception of this. If I was, 10 years ago, believe it or not, yes, I was in my mother's womb. No, when I was starting 10 years ago, what were the things that I would have loved to ask these people? And I've had to, fight my way to get where I am. If I could have asked some of these people these questions who I had admired, would that have helped me in my pursuit? Or would it have at least given me an understanding of what it takes to pursue some of these professions? And do I want to? Do I understand what is required of me as a human being, as a professional, as a performer, as an actor? Am I willing to dive that deep, go as far as it takes? Am I willing to post as many things as I need to, audition as many times, take as many classes, explore my vulnerability and my physicality, all of the things that, all the various things take, and artistic skill sets, what have you? I truly feel that this is a gift to a younger me. And I think a lot of you who are listening are younger me's, quite literally in your age or just where you are professionally. And it's also a love letter to all of the fans like I was, fans of some of my favorite shows, performers. It's really... I listen to my own show. Yes, I do. Guilty as charged. I listen to these episodes after they are done because I truly enjoy what is being said, and I think it helps me retain some of the messages even more. This isn't just I've said this once before, or many times, this isn't just for all of you. It is for me as well, selfishly. And I think because that is the case, I know there is value to be had here for you listeners, for the people who are listening that are curious about this professionally. There's also a side of me that just guiltily loves to ask fun questions about the process of making some of my favorite games and animes and all the other things that we've talked about. So I'm really proud of where we are. And a lot of that goes out to Keith, who's been editing these episodes, Neku. He's done a fantastic job of making sure that we have these episodes for all of you to enjoy everywhere that we have the podcast available. Joe, the Fort Scientist, my cousin, who really helped me out to even make this happen when it was just an idea, and I needed support, and he was there for me for that, and obviously every episode that he's contributed in. This is not a solo pursuit by any stretch of the imagination. So that's my long-winded thank you to everybody here and what this show has been. Now I kind of want to talk about what the new year means for me and what I think 2023 can be for a lot of you. What are ways that we can quite literally level up in 2023? And I have a lot of my own ideas and curiosities and strategies that I hope I can employ. and put into practice, both professionally and personally. This is also kind of something I talk about in my Paul's Positivity podcast. It's kind of all around the same. It all touches the same dots. You know, they all connect in one way or another. Positivity and progression, advancement in your career, in your life, in your happiness, and your self-worth. I think 2023 for me, I really took a look at myself or 2022 rather, for 2023. In 2021 and 2022, I really was, for the first time in my life, like ripping webs away of depression and anxiety. Depression really hit me hard. My father passed away early on in 2021, and that was hard. It was so hard. It just opened my eyes to what humanity is, what is the value of life, and what do I want to do with mine. And what I had done to cope with a lot of 2021 and 2022, the aftermath of that was escapism. I was playing a lot of video games, and not that there's anything wrong with that, but I was playing video games. I was playing a little too much video games, all right? And after I had gone through, after that it just had to run its course. I quite literally had no control over it. It was doing its own thing, and that can be, I think, a danger of some MMORPGs or things without kind of an end mark. You can get caught up in the never-ending cycle of it, and I really don't want to do something like that ever again. Except maybe my acting career, but even then, it's like jobs have an end point, you know? I think it's like, even like some of my favorite shows, like Breaking Bad, they're like, it's got to end at some point. It's got to end. There's got to be an end in sight, because if you just keep doing the same thing over and over and over again, it becomes monotonous, and it loses value, and you get on autopilot. And I was definitely doing that, and my addiction kind of ran its course, and I thankfully was able to, escape it. And after getting on the other side of that, I really looked at myself, and I was like, what am I doing with my life? Yeah, I'm pursuing voice acting. Yeah, I'm doing all these other great things. I'm writing, I'm creating content, but am I giving my all to that professionally? Am I utilizing my spare and free time the way I want to? Or are things out of my control controlling my spare time? For example, is an urge or an addiction telling me that I want to play this game or eat this food or do this thing? Is that controlling what I do? Or is it me saying, I want to do this? Because after I got through the webs, I couldn't have seen this at the time. I was like, no, I don't want to be doing that. A year from now, 2 years from now, 3 years from now, 5 years from now, I don't want to still be doing that. I want to be more artistically fulfilled, professionally fulfilled, and the relationships in my life to be watered and nurtured. I don't want to waste any more time. I really want to invest stock into people I care about, into people who love me for me, and not for things that I've done or will do or think they can get from me. I'm not interested in any of that anymore. Although at its point in time in my life, I definitely enjoyed the validation of oh, you like this thing I've done? You're giving me this attention? I want to keep revisiting that. It's fleeting, and it's in the moment. You might feel that satisfaction, but after a while, it's not sustainable. So my relationships and the way that I use my time have become a tremendous priority for me. My diet, my workout habits. This sounds so silly, but counting calories for me has worked before in my life. And then I kind of got lax on it, and I saw the negative repercussions because of that. Now, I don't think counting calories is for everybody, and if you have a healthy relationship with food, then great. I don't. I don't have a healthy relationship with food. I eat until the plate is empty. And when I'm hungry, the plate quite literally can't fit anything else on it. I eat like I'm 6'5" and like 300 pounds sometimes. I work out really hard, so that kind of offsets some of those eating habits, and I love me some sweets. But counting calories for me gives me kind of handlebars to say, yeah, you can eat a pizza, a whole pizza if you want. But when I look at my weekly calories, did I eat the amount that I want to feel happy with how I want to feel physically happy at the end of that week? So I really need to rein in my focus and routine, persistence, dedication to my dietary habits. That's something I'm really going to focus on. And ways I'm doing that is I bought like magnet weekly calendar things where I can put what I'm cooking each day and what I'm eating each day. So there's no guess when I get hungry and I go, what am I going to eat? I already know. I already know what I'm going to eat. And now I may or may not like it, but I am going to try and create alternate meals too. So in the event that I have like, chickpea tuna tacos, if I don't want that, I'll maybe have an alternate that I can do and try and make my weekly shopping habits at the store to reflect that. Because especially as an actor, if you are not in control of your instrument physically and you are satisfied with how your instrument works, and for me, a lot of that has to do with what my body looks and feels like. So if I'm not flexible, if I don't have the energy to do yoga and to run and to work out and feel satiated and to get stronger, to push myself, that's a problem as a professional. I need to have the strength to work long hours if I need to push the limits, to find the energy when I've done 8 hours of voice acting. That comes from diet. That comes from exercise. That comes from stamina and vitality. And that's a huge priority for me. And whatever profession you're in, I guarantee you, what you put in your body will have an effect on what you do professionally and personally. Do you have the energy to make the phone call to a family member? Do you have the energy to go to that gathering, community meetup at the end of the day? Or do you want to go to sleep? Are you tired at 5 p.m.? I said a very important word there too, and that's sleep. For me, again, I got to have those handlebars. I'm in bed by 9:30. I'm up at 6:30. If I'm in bed by 9:30, realistically, I'll get up at 10 or go to sleep at 10:30. Because it takes me a while to fall to bed. Guilty as charged. I like me some movies and TV at night. That's where I consume most media, and I think that's important for someone in my profession. A lot of people are like, oh, no, you can't watch TV, waste your time. It's like, no, that's quite literally research and enjoyment at the same time. So getting that under control, taming that habit is going to be tremendous. Sleep. Quality sleep. Cell phone away from the bed. No urge for me to grab my phone in the morning to look at, social media or text messages, emails. I got to get up to do that because the second I've got up, I've created momentum. Momentum is so important for me. And I think keeping the phone away, creating a good relationship between where my cats sleep so they don't wake me up in the middle of the night. Having things ready for me in the morning, like my routine ritual, my teas, my waters, my jug, like making sure everything is prepared the night before. Like routines is really going to be important, and quality sleep, dietary habits, professional goals. I really need to sit down with myself, and I haven't completely done this yet, but I've done it kind of 25%, and write down the things that I want to achieve. One thing I've done before, and it's probably what I'm going to do again, is a vision board. And putting all of the things, pictures or words, whatever it might be, things that I want to achieve and do. You could start out on a Google Doc first or a Word document, a piece of paper, and write all the things first. But then visually putting them on a board that you're going to look at every day and remind yourself, what do you want? Because I think social media and other people's lives, successes, or your escapism habits can grab you and deter you and cloud your vision from the things that you want. So you need reminders visually. I do. I know I do. Of what am I working towards? And quite literally, one of those things could be a picture of my friends. I want to see my friends more. What are the things that I can do to see my friends more? Travel more. To become financially free. Make enough money to where I don't have to stress about plane tickets and certain health purchases or events, entertainment in my life. If I see all those things every day, reminding myself of the things that I want, I know I'm going to work harder to achieve them. It's better than looking at social media and being like, oh yeah, wasting time here looks so much more fun, because it is fun. It's fun to be lazy. At least for me, I have fun being lazy. And sometimes fun isn't going to be sustainable at the end of the day, or at least lazy fun. I want long-term satiation and satisfaction. I don't want quick, uncontrollable satisfaction. I want things that will last and that I can replicate. And I'm not getting any younger, and it doesn't mean that I'm running out of time, but I want to enjoy the time that I have here. And I've wasted a lot of time in my life. Even some of you might be thinking, like, well, you've achieved these things and you've had success. Yes, that is true, but I also know what my potential is. And I give in to the devil on my shoulder sometimes instead of the other piece of me that knows what's good for me, but it's a harder road to walk down. So I gotta really set myself up in my temple to support that. I need support. I need a lot of support. And that can come in the form of people too. Who are you surrounding yourself with? Who are you investing your time in? When you go and hang out with friends or have dinners with people, are they people that you feel are leveling up your experience in life? Or are they hitting you with that debuff? There's nothing wrong with someone who's, people that are there may not be like professional or emotional growth necessarily. So long as they are not giving you that debuff, then that's great. And this doesn't mean write out people that are dealing with hard times and you're there to support. Be there for your friends and be there for people who in need, so long as they are people who are worth your support. If this is someone who only takes and takes and takes and takes and takes and constantly needs help from you and they're taking and taking and taking and taking and taking, really evaluate, has this person ever been there for me? Have they really supported me? Have they really enriched my life in some way? Or is it just a burden? Or is it just a link that you have not severed yet? And I'm not here to be an expert and tell you how to do that because it's hard. But there's nothing wrong with creating healthy distance and prioritizing things in your life that give you value. Because we can get caught up in people who have just been there. They've just been there. And now it's hard to say goodbye because they know they can keep coming to you and getting something. And it's hard to say no. And it's hard, if you're a good person, to turn a blind eye and let these people figure out their stuff on their own. But unfortunately, that needs to happen sometimes. I try to be the least talented person in the room. I really do. Because I know if there's people who are more talented than me, that's going to encourage me to work harder to become better at whatever I want to do. Or the fact that they are more than likely living a life that I want to live. It's not always true, because professionally and emotionally they might be dealing with their own demons, but I can handle that if I can achieve things that I want to professionally in a healthy way. That's by creating boundaries, creating routine, silencing my phone when I'm doing a podcast. Honestly, here's a funny one. I actually had to start putting my phone off silent because I just was ignoring people for a while. And it was because I knew that if I kept looking at my phone, I'd find other things to do after I checked X message and things, and that's actually healthy. I turned it back on because when I went away for the holidays, I was afraid that my cats were going to kill each other, and I wanted to check my notifications from my cameras in my home. My cats are crazy. You guys know this. You guys know my cats are insane. Sasuke is out for blood sometimes, and I gotta be there for my girl Luna. What was I now saying? Boundaries. Yeah, creating boundaries. Boundaries for my cats so they don't devour each other. And for me, I think that we are entering into a time, hopefully this post-COVID, where COVID is no longer going to be an excuse. I used that excuse for a while. Well, guys, it's COVID. We're in a pandemic. It's hard to do these things. But there's many other things I could have been doing. I could have been working on my writing. I could have been working out more. I could have been finding other ways to become, to make passive income. You know? I think a lot of people use COVID as an excuse to work harder instead of the excuse of COVID being, I lost my job. I am getting less money per year. I am, there are real financial losses that people experienced and real hardships that people had to go through because of COVID. But for me, I worked more than I ever did during COVID. And I still use it as an excuse because voiceover was a boom. There was a boom in the voiceover industry if you were good at what you did and you had a home studio. And I did. I was prepared. So that's no longer going to be an excuse for me. And hopefully I will start to see more people in person, continue my networking, and expanding my circle of people who are finding value. Constantly just dating friends, people in the professional communities, outside the professional communities. I want to keep dating for friends. Who are people that I want to spend my time with? I think I've definitely subscribed to this idea. Like, I have my group of people. It's all about quality over quantity. Sure. But what if you could, get another friend who's, really awesome? Are you going to deny yourself that possibility of that opportunity just because you think you've met every single person in the world in your short experience or time on this earth? There are billions of people. Yet we make our experience so small. That can even go for things we do professionally or for hobbies. I keep having a fantasy of starting pottery, sculpting. And I think I might pursue that this year. Just hobbies of things I've never experienced before. There's a lot of comfort and safety in the things that you enjoy or the things you like eating, the foods you never tried, like the foods you always have and you just don't try other foods. I want to try things that I've been curious about for so long. I want to make it a point, schedule it in to do things that I've never done. Because you might find something that you've never given yourself the opportunity to like and get some real enjoyment out of it. So for me, that's like sculpting and crafting. I want to use my hands more. I am determined to look at 2023 as an opportunity unlike any other. And then the year after that, do the same thing. And the same thing after year after year, year after year. It's kind of corny to say, but make the next year the best year you've ever had. I want to keep doing that. I want to keep building upon what I've created and the experiences I've had. It should get harder and it should get more enjoyable as I continue to grow as a human, as the years go by. I want to keep finding ways to do that. I want to talk about the industries professionally. It's a really exciting time for those of you here who are interested in voiceover, have been pursuing voice acting, or you're already doing voice acting. If you have a home studio, you can work anywhere. There are people I see who have been working on some of the top things who don't live in LA or New York. And they are kicking butt. There is no excuse. There is no excuse to not try. There are excuses if you are hurting financially, you're supporting your entire family, you're experiencing a health problem. Those are excuses. But there's no excuses to at least try if you are able. Microphones cost nothing. In the grand scheme of things, most people are buying coffees every day. $5 a coffee. Just don't get coffee at the Starbucks for like 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and you can get a microphone that you can start working with. There's tons of microphones under $200 that are great. They are great. I have a whole list on my website, paulcastrojr.com/links, of the ones under $300 that I think are really good. But there's even the technology is getting so good that the barrier of entry is no longer the microphone. You can get an interface. The Evo 4 is under $100. You know, those two things alone with a computer, or you can even get adapters for your iPhone, or you can get adapters for an iPad. You don't even necessarily need a good computer anymore. You can run Twisted Wave on your iPad. Get into some great classes that people are still offering on Zoom. You can still train with some of the best. We've had Crispin Freeman on, Richard Horowitz. These people are doing this at the highest level, and you can train with them. That wasn't the case when I was starting out. I wish I could take what I know now and start fresh and gain these years back. I really do. I really wish I could, because it's only a testament to how accessible it is. And I'm here where I am now, and I'm working with what I got, but I'm trying to make it easier for you. I also did a video on how to get into voiceover and all that stuff, so if that's your main pursuit, make sure it's on this channel, the Points of Experience podcast. Check out that channel, or that video, rather. It's like how to get started in voiceover, I think. Like maybe 10 episodes ago we did it. Check that video out. Check the links in my links section. If you're interested in theater and on camera, theaters are opening up again. This COVID idea that it's no longer possible to pursue theater. It's possible now. Write your own plays. Submit to play festivals. Write your own short films. Use your iPhone and film some stuff with your friends. Throw it on YouTube. Throw it on TikTok. Get experience acting. Doing what you are practicing. Presumably you're in a class, and like Crispin Freeman said in one of our episodes, you got to give a damn. If you give a damn about it and you put your all into it, doesn't matter if you take 10 acting classes. You got to give a damn, and you got to be passionate about it, and you got to care about the result. You got to care about what it is that you are going to be taking 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour of somebody else's time. Are you going to waste their time? I thought I muted this. I definitely did mute this. Apologies, everyone. Apologies. Am I going to waste your time with my phone ringing? Gosh darn it. So yeah, on camera, voice acting, voiceover, it's all possible. It's all possible now. The world is your oyster. Drink your water. Get your coffee straws. Do your straw phonation. Do your vocal scales. Practice accents and dialects. Watch people who are doing this that are great. Listen to commercials. I really think there is no excuse right now for especially the question that I get so often, how do I get started? I have no idea where to start. You got 30 some odd episodes here of where you can start, and all the other great podcasts, Voice Acting Mastery, the VO Buzz Weekly, the Voiceover School podcast. There's just tons of them. Just type in voiceover in your Apple Podcast app. That's like the easiest, like passive listening way of pursuing this. Same goes for acting. Tons of actors who've got podcasts. You know, Dak Shepard's one of the biggest ones, Armchair Expert. You know, you can listen to other people's stories of how they got started. Smartlist, they have actors on. And how do they get started? Where do they find their passions? I was just listening to John Bernthal talk about like things I never really knew about Chekhov in Russia, and you know the inception of Stanislavski, and kind of the acting methods that you know Meisner, which is basically what I studied. You know, a lot of the history that went behind that theater school and what they did in Russia that founded basically the contemporary acting that we are doing today. I was on my run literally today listening to it, and I was like, And I had a spark of, like, curiosity and excitement in me about, like, researching acting more. You know, the history of the seagull. So get your ears filled with whatever it is that you're interested in. If you want to be a streamer right now, like content creator, there's tons of people putting information out about that. We've had some on. We're going to have more. I think a big lessons I've learned for people from the people I've spoke to and from what I've seen is if you're interested in like streaming, it's like you got to invest your time into creating opportunities for people to see you. And streaming 12 hours a day isn't always the best use of that time. That's like one area for people to find you, and you want to create more entry points for people to find you. So that might be putting your clips on all different social media platforms, or anywhere you can view content, blogs, collaborations. Like those things seem to be more valuable than streaming. And once you've created an audience, that's where you can invest your time streaming if you're looking to monetize or create community once you've gotten one. It's hard to be found if people have not found you yet. Grassroots is a great thing, and if you can get that going, wonderful. But I think people want to find value out of you in whatever you do. And constantly doing the same thing over and over again and crossing your fingers, praying that the right person will find you, isn't the best use of your time. And that applies to all things. Content creation, streaming, whatever it is. Really, for me, I looked at that in terms of like my careers and what I've been like doing, if I wanted to stream more, if I wanted to do more content creation, and I really want to write more. And a lot of the structuring my life is going to be writing to then get opportunities to make the things I write in a larger scale, right? So pilots, screenplays, movies, that's where a lot of my passion is. I have a lot of stories I want to tell. I love storytelling. That is probably the thing I am most passionate about, storytelling. And for me to have control of storytelling, and the only way you quite literally can is by being a writer. You know, once it gets into the hands of other people, they can do whatever they want with it, whether you like it or not sometimes. I want to tell the stories I want to tell. And I want to make some of those stories that I want to tell. So I got to write the things I want to write. Commit to a page per day type of thing is what we're going for. How many pages per day am I going to write to create goals and all that stuff? So we were talking about finishing one screenplay in 2 weeks, and that meant, you know, writing 6 pages per day. So that's what we're going to do. 6 pages per day we're going to write. Doesn't sound like a lot, but writing can be tough. A lot of people do 10 pages per day, but some, you know, I have a lot of things I want to do. So 6 pages per day is more than manageable for me. You know, just creating small goals. If I said 1 page per day, in 100 days, I'd have a screenplay. If I wrote 1 page per day, you'd have a screenplay in 100 days. So you can create these type of things for yourself in whatever way or whatever thing you're pursuing. Art, drawing, voice acting, whatever it is. Create small goals that lead to a bigger goal. I've talked about this before in that other videos, like a 2-year, 3 years, 4-year, 5-year plan, you know, and then what are the things, the goals you set in the 1 week, 2 week, 3 week, 4 week, 5 week, 6 weeks? You know, what are the small goals that you can set to eventually reach that 1 year goal? So if your 1 year goal is, you know, I want to own a house, what can you do in 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, so on and so forth to eventually create the scenario where you can achieve the 1 year goal. A lot of people just put that 1 year goal, 3 year goal, 5 year goal on paper, and they don't do any of the other stuff in between. And then you're kind of like lost. It's like, all right, I want to get a house in 1 year. Okay, 6 months go by. I want to get a house in 1 year, but you've done nothing to help you do that. I don't know why I said house, but that's just an example. Anyway, these are important things for anyone, regardless of your career. I think a lot of the people we've had on this podcast have talked about many of them, and sometimes in a better way than I'm describing. But additionally, I'm really excited about video games this year. There's a lot of games I want to play that I'm excited about. You know, the new Breath of the Wild, I'm definitely going to play that. But I'm going to schedule it and manage my time doing it. And there is the temptation to want to stream playing it or any other game that I want to play. And if it's not the best use of my time, and if it dilutes the experience I have, then I won't stream it. I'll enjoy it the way I want to enjoy it, because I've got other goals. My goal isn't to be a streamer. My goal eventually might be to create a very committed and healthy and awesome community, which we've already been doing, and then stream things the way I want to and the way I enjoy. So I want to keep building my community here and providing resources for y'all. And then when I stream, we can hang out. That's like kind of my goal. My goal was never to be a streamer. Not that I haven't thought about it at one point in time in my life, but I love telling stories and I love helping people. And I want to do more of that. There's an idea I've been having floating around for a while, and it's kind of to do with this, and hopefully we'll get to this in 2023. I want to talk with more people about it, but I want to create a mentorship program for people interested in the arts, video games, voice acting. I want to create a mentorship program where people who are working at the highest level take on mentees. I've done this for my college before, for NYU, my alma mater. And maybe it's one person, 2 people, 3 people per year per person. If they've met a certain criteria of their own, it's nothing crazy, but I think there's going to be some sort of criteria where you've shown a commitment to pursuing this, and this isn't just someone who's just like, yeah, I want to do voiceover, and I'm committing, my entire year to helping and shepherding. I think a lot of people are scared to take the first steps, but there's plenty you can take on your own. And if you've taken some of those small steps, I want to help. I want to be a part of the helping process, and I think there's a lot of other people who want to as well, so hopefully I can get them on board, and hopefully I can create a little bit of a mentorship program. I'm really excited about that. That's something that's on my list, on my vision board, because I love helping people. It's important to me. Gosh, there's nothing more enjoyable for me than seeing somebody else do something professionally that I struggled with. Like there's such satisfaction for me in watching other people succeed. So that's a goal of mine. And maybe I'll do that in other ways as well. I've taught classes before. Who knows? I really like helping people. I really, really enjoy helping people. And I love, like, some people would just want to be teachers. I want to be like one of the most, I want to have some of the, I want to have some of the most, what is the word I want to use here? I want to be very careful about the word and what I use here. I want to have some of the most enjoyable experiences acting that translate into something that affects somebody, whether it's how they view life, it affects their happiness, and something that has a profound effect on somebody. I want to be a part of those things at the highest level and also help people at the highest level. So for me, it's not just about being a teacher and being content with that. It's about also doing the same thing that the person I'm helping is doing, I think that's important. I love teachers, and there's some really great teachers that only do that, and amazing. They are amazing, but they're hard to find. Sometimes you find teachers that becomes a backup plan, and they can get bitter, and if they don't have the drive the same way they did to pursue the thing that they're teaching, about teaching, then it's unfair to the student. So for me, I gotta have both cups getting filled at the same time. That's a lot of what's going on for me in 2023. Who knows? There might be even more exciting things that I haven't thought about or explored yet. Definitely going to be doing more traveling, hopefully. Seeing family more. Not wasting moments if I can have them. And, I want to level up in 2023. And I hope all of you do too. So, that's the New Year's episode. Welcome to 2023, everybody. It is literally January 1st as I record this. This will be out a couple of days later, but this is the New Year's episode. All right? And we've got more coming up for you on the Points of Experience podcast. So thank you all for being here, for being fans, for supporting us, supporting me. Leave a review on whatever podcast platform you're listening on. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. It really helps make this more accessible for other people who may not have found it yet. So, yeah. Much love to you all. And if you're a aspiring, currently pursuing voice actor, I look forward to hearing you guys pretty soon. Because I think that if you're listening to this podcast, you've already taken a step in that direction. And if you're pursuing anything else, acting on camera, I wish you the best of luck. Arts, crafts, whatever it might be. I really, really wish you the best of luck. And thank you for listening. Really. It is very rewarding knowing people are listening to this podcast and getting value from it. So, from the bottom of my heart, thank you. Happy New Year. Happy holidays. And all my love and support to you.